Hi, welcome everyone. This is Grandmaster Ben Finegold with the last video of the day, video number 4. Um, Actually, I made 11 practice videos of like 5 seconds, just sit in the right place and the camera and all that. The sun's right in my eyes, so you should have, this is the best view. Last time I sat out here, I was facing that direction. Now I'm facing that direction. So there you go. I guess if the sun sets in the west, then that's west. Okay, since it's 6:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is my last game with Michael Brown. Michael Brown beat me last time in the Pro Chess League when we played San Diego about 3 weeks ago. I actually had 3 draws before I played him in the last round, and I was just crushing him. I was +4, and then I missed the winning moves, and it was a draw, and then I lost horribly in time trouble. Not the same kind of game, but close. Okay, so this is the last game of the match. We were up by 1 point, so we needed 1.5 out of 4, and then we would tie and therefore win the match because we had draw odds. And they needed 3 out of 4, and I figured it's likely Wesley So's going to win since he always wins. So if I drew, we would almost certainly win the match. And, Akobian's also playing a low-rated player, so it's likely that if I lose, we'll win the match, but a draw would basically seal it. It's hard to believe that Wesley and VAR would get half a point, and we would lose on 4th board. So, okay. So, Michael played d4. I had no prep. When I played Michael, I played d4. So I played the Chigorin again. I figured he didn't see my game with Dreyev because, we're bam, 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 the games just go really quickly, and you can't really look at other people's games. And even if he saw it, he can't really prepare. So if he did prepare for me, which I guess is unlikely, probably from one of my blocked Benoni games, because I played this so many times in the Pro Chess League. Okay, and Dreyev played knight c3 here, and he took. Most people play e3 here with white. E3 is the best move. He played knight f3, which doesn't give white any advantage. E5, and I've had this before. One thing about the Chigorin is, queen's on d5. So whenever they play knight c3, you always want to play bishop b4. You don't want to move your queen around a lot. Okay, and this position, I think I faced knight e5 almost every time, and maybe knight d2 once. I played knight d2. So you can play e3 here or not, and I sort of knew that, and I was like, I don't know, e3 is my kind of move. So I played e3, and he'd already pre-moved to take it, so he probably expected e3. And it's a safe pre-move because the only way it's legal is if I play e3. So, okay, and I'm sacrificing a pawn, and the idea is to make this bishop weak and make him double pawns, and I have good control of the white squares. Otherwise, my pawn's on e4, like blocking all my pieces that can go to the white squares. Okay, knight f6, play queen b3. I didn't know this position, but it turns out it's theory. Bishop e6. I don't think he knew it either. He thought a long time here. Traded queens. And I guess he was worried at some point, like now I could play knight g4. Not sure if I could play it now. e4 looks pretty strong. So he played h3, stopping knight g4 forever. And I castled queenside, so my rook's getting the center. I have good compensation for a pawn. His bishops aren't very good. My pieces are all good. Computer says it's about equal. Yeah. Okay. I think there's like one game in the history of chess in this position. All right, he played rook g1 because he wants to move his g-pawn, but it's pinned. And I attacked his pawn on e3, and he defended it. And the computer doesn't like my next move. I thought it was pretty good, but computer's probably right. I should probably advance on the king side, h5, g5, gain some space, and then I can play the way I played later without him letting him advance on the king side. So I played rook d6. And the idea is I want to double rooks on the e file, so, attacking his e-pawn. And also, if my knight on f6 ever moves, I can play rook f6 check. Yeah, so, if I play rook e6, I'm going to take his e-pawn. So he played g4. And this has a couple ideas. He wants to dislodge my knight, obviously, gain space, get his bishop out. But he also wants to defend his pawn with rook g3. Okay, so I attacked his pawn. and he defended it. Okay, now I thought I played a very clever move, but too clever by half. I played h5, and the idea is to play h4, and his rook can't defend his e-pawn. So if he plays g5, I would actually throw in h4, attacking his rook. So for example, g5, h4, he can't move his rook anywhere but g1, otherwise I take it. Then I could play knight h5, and my knight has the g3 square, and I'm threatening this pawn, which is virtually indefensible, and so on. So that was my plan, but he took on h5, which is correct. I took back. He forked my bishop and knight, and I saved them. His e-pawn is still hanging, so I was pretty happy, and he took my g-pawn, and I took his e-pawn. So I'm still down a pawn, but you can see my pieces are pretty nice. I was under the impression I was better here, but my engine doesn't agree with me. So there you go. He played knight f3, which I think is a good move. And I forgot what the engine said here. It doesn't like what I did. This is what I did is okay, but it preferred something else. I'm not sure what. I played rook. Oh, no, it actually likes rook e7. I don't want my rook next to his king, because eventually he'll take my rook. And if I want to play knight e4 check, I got to get my rook out of there so he doesn't take it. So actually that makes a lot of sense, because I'm defending my f-pawn again, and I'm getting my rook away from his king, and I'm going to play knight e4 check. So, okay, rook e7 makes a lot of sense. Okay, knight g5, putting pressure on f-pawn, preparing later to play e4. Bishop c4. Yeah, that's the move it didn't think was the best, but I actually don't remember what it wanted me to do. Position's about equal, I guess. I'm down a pawn, but I have good compensation. Now I'm threatening his e-pawn, which is hard to save. And when he did save it, I took his a-pawn. Okay, that way I established material equality, and I'm still fighting against his bishops, which don't look very good. They're blocked in by everything. I mean, it's a Chagor. I'm supposed to have knights against bishops. Bishop to g2, and I played knight h5, because it looked like f4 was a good square for my knight, now that his bishop's on g2. Played rook h7, I played knight f4. So, yeah, my knight's attacking everything, and I want my pawn back. For some of you who think this f-pawn's been hanging for a few moves, my bishop's really far away, but it's still defending it. So, think again. Okay, and he played bishop f3, and I played bishop c4, attacking his pawn again. And Michael went into a big think here. And this was like our first game, except I'm not winning. The first game I was winning, I had a huge time advantage. I couldn't find the win, and I got to an equal or slightly worse ending, and I played horrible and lost. Here, I had huge time advantage, like 4 or 5 minutes, which is pretty good in a 15-minute game. But, okay, position's about equal. He played a move I didn't look at all, and then I didn't know what to do, and I thought forever. Although a lot of moves he can play are okay here. He played king g3. The idea is he's undefending his e-pawn, but my bishop on c4 is doing double duty. It's defending f7 and attacking e2. So it's hard to do everything. I think the computer just says it's equal. I thought I had a nice advantage, but I have nothing as usual. I thought maybe 3 minutes here, which is pretty long for a 15-minute game. And we traded. And it's still equal material. And I think the computer wants me to play rook g2 here. I didn't see rook g2. If I did, I probably would have played it. I like my rook on the 7th rank. So, okay, I attacked his knight. And he played knight e5, which is okay. Took with the pawn. You can take with the rook also. Bishop e6 is okay. Rook h1 is okay. Probably instead of bishop e6, I should play king d7 and get my king up to the center. Position's equal. The computer slightly prefers black, but I mean, it should be a draw. Okay. I checked again, and I hope to like get his king in some kind of mating net, because you got to hope for something. But yeah, that's wasn't to be. Yeah, I guess I didn't play rook f5 because of rook g5. Yeah. So I played rook f4, rook h1, 5 threatening mate. Yeah, king g7 I actually didn't see. I thought I'm not even threatening mate. No wonder I don't have a mating net. I don't have anything. Okay, so I thought he would play h5 here, and then he can't move. He has to keep his king and his rook defending his h-pawn. This is all 15-minute blitz kind of think. Just doesn't make any sense. Okay, king g7, b6 is a good move. Trying to control his bishop a little bit and advance my pawns. Rook g1's a good move. Bishop b8's okay because it gives my rook some more squares. Rook d1, he wants to infiltrate on d8. I attacked his pawn, he defended it. And, yeah, this is about equal. Okay, and, yeah, here I was getting confident because I had a nice time advantage, and I thought I was better because his king is trapped. And if I can start pushing my queenside pawns, it's hard for him to do anything about it. But that's not really the truth. The truth is it's equal. Okay, so now we started repeating, and before the game I really wanted to draw because I thought that would cinch the match for us. And, well, unfortunately I'm playing from my home here. I'm not watching the other games, so I don't know what's going on. Don't ask, don't tell. Actually, about 2 weeks ago, I was playing in St. Louis, and we were all there except for Wesley, and so we knew, who won and who lost while it was going on, but now I don't know. So we repeated moves here, which is correct. This is a correct draw now. These moves are very reasonable, and so forth. And, yeah, I can actually... okay, so let's go back. Okay, so king e7, this position's occurred once. Now it's occurred twice. And now if I play king e7, that's the third time. So I could push the draw button now and play king e7. And he actually was playing really quickly these moves. I think he wanted to repeat. And I think the reason is San Diego was playing all in the same room. And I think we already had 8 points. We were up 8-7. So he knew if he won that we still won the match on tie breaks, so it didn't matter anymore. So he sort of stopped playing for a win, I guess. And honestly, his king can't move, and his pawns are both stopped. His bishop can't really move anywhere. So yeah, I mean, he's all zeros on the engine. And I decided to play for a win because I had slightly more time, and I thought like I was much better and had more time most of this game, and I felt like I should win because I lost to him last time. He's lower rated. And I wanted to get 2 out of 4 instead of 1.5 out of 4. So, yeah, I got a little too cocky here, and I just played. Every move I played was just terrible. I mean, I made like 6 bad moves in my next 10. I'm not even sure it lasted 10 moves. Okay, so king e7 draw is fair. I played bishop d5, which also prevents rook f7 check. And he played rook f6. And I played just a horrible move here. Horrible move. So I was worried that he would play rook g6. And then his king escapes. And he has chances of winning. Although not according to the engine, it's just equal. But, so I stopped rook g6 with bishop e4, forgetting about rook f7 check. And then rook f7 check, I'm very close to losing here, if not losing. I could defend my c pawn, or I could defend it with king c6 or king c8 or king, but then e6 is coming. His pass pawn's getting strong, his bishop's getting good. So I blocked his pawn. Yeah, I'm down a pawn now, and I got nothing. My pawns are all weak on the queen side. So bishop e4 was a crazy, horrible move. And I went down without a fight. I mean, like, I didn't do anything. Just lost like it was nothing. Yeah, the problem is here, I can't just check him forever. He has king f4. So I moved my bishop to where it was safe, where he's not attacking it. But okay, I'm losing everything. All my pawns are hanging. And check. Check. I'm down 3 pawns. So yeah, I mean, I made one bad move and the position just collapsed. And that's what happens when I have less than a minute. I just play badly. So I should have taken the draw, especially since it could have been the situation that by drawing we win the match, and now I lost and we don't. That could have been the situation. And I didn't know. And it seemed more likely than not that drawing would really cinch the match. So I don't know what I was thinking. It would have been horrible if we lost 8.5, 7.5, and I didn't take that draw there. I mean, I would be upset for a long time. That would have just been horrible. And I think the reason he was quickly playing the drawing moves is because he already knew that the match had ended, but I didn't know. Okay, so the game, like, I played on a few more moves. That way I get a lot of moves in. And, And then he played H7, and I resigned. So, a horrible finish for me. I got 1 out of 4. Our team won, which was good. It looks like they're probably going to let me play next week, but I'm not sure because I'm losing all my games. But so far, the lineup with Wesley So on board 1 and me on board 3 has been done 5 times. And we're 5-0, so I have very little to do with that. That's Wesley So. But actually, because of the restrictions on ratings, it's hard to put somebody better than me on board 3 because it's not allowed by rating. For those of you who are confused, which is most of you, the rating limit for the Pro Chess League is 2,500 FIDE. So the average rating of your 4 players has to be under that. However, sort of like in the movie Bananas, the Woody Allen movie, all players who are above 2,700 are 2,700. So that would be a good decree from the president. Sounds like something Trump would say. So Wesley is 28, whatever, 20, 30. And so he counts as 2,700. All players in the league who are 2,700 FIDE or above count as 2,700. And that's to encourage the best players in the world to play in the league and not have the rest of their players suck. Also, there's a minimum rating. If you're rated 1,200 or 1,300, you're 2,000. So you can't have like the 3 highest rated players in the world and a 500 player because the 500 player counts as 2,000. So we have a player whose FIDE rating on the bottom board, Nikki Rosenthal, is about 2,100. And then usually we have me and Var and Wesley, and that's a legal team. If we want to have better players than me, like Zara Book and Alejandro Ramirez and Swiertz, and they're all much higher rated than me, then we can't have Wesley on the team. So that's not as good since Wesley wins all his games. So I do help the team because I allow Wesley to play, but it would be nice if I won a game occasionally. Okay, so that was the match between the San Diego Surfers and the St. Louis Archbishops. That was my 4th video today. And I'm outside because my wife's taking a nap, so I'm still probably waking her up. But you can read my next volume of the book, Wake Her Up Like a Grandmaster. This is Grandmaster Ben Finegold. Please like and subscribe. And follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Go to atlchessclub.com and donate as much as you possibly can, and then donate more. Okay, see you guys next time. Tomorrow I fly to St. Louis for the St. Louis Winter Classic, where I will be the 8th rated player out of 10. And on Saturday, I have white against Irina Krush. I'm guessing that will be my next video. Bye, everyone.